Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone this morning? Good morning, Valerie. How are you? So happy to see you here. So happy to see you. So I just got back yesterday morning from my whirlwind trip to Arkansas for my great niece Desiree's 8th birthday, and it was fabulous, as you can imagine. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. And my flights were super easy and uneventful. They said there was going to be turbulence, but it was like one little hiccup. It was nothing really. Anyway, I visited this town. So my niece, Emily, lives in this town called Eureka Springs, and it is just as quaint and lovely as you can imagine. So there's, I think there's just over 2,000 people in the population of that town, and it was just as picturesque as a southern town at Christmas as you think. It was very Hallmark Christmas show kind of vibe going on. There was so her Christmas play was Thursday evening, and I'm telling you, we're driving there, and no kidding, the line is down the block. And for the city auditorium, and because that's where the little Christmas play was held. And I'm telling you, it was like the whole town gathered for this. Oh my gosh, it was so great. It was so great. And you know, there's nothing like kids singing on a stage all dressed up in their Christmas finery. There's nothing like it. It was so fabulous. It was so fabulous. And their music teacher was amazing. She taught them about stanzas and notes and tones, and it was lovely. And they always had some kind of something to do while they were singing, which I thought was brilliant. So, like one song Desi sang, they had 2 scarves, and they had to do kind of these scarf dances too. And then another song, they did sign language. It was just fabulous. There was a lot of bells that, Keely played bells in high school, I believe. And so there were a lot of bell ringing songs. It was awesome. Hey, Sue, how are you? So nice to see you. So nice to see you. And then one day, Emily and her friend Jamie and I went shoe shopping, because, you know, what's a good trip without shoe shopping? Keely and I love to shoe shop too. And I got the cutest tennis shoes. I'll take a picture of them and post them. There's this little store called Nelson's, and it was very like nice high-end outdoor wear. So it was tennies and hiking boots and winter boots and all of that kind of thing. And they were having a 40% off everything, like at least 40% off. So it was fabulous. It was just fabulous. So I want to tell you this weird thing that happened over texting while I was there, and I dreamed up today's thing. So one night, because I'm all mixed up now, but anyway, Tessa sent me a picture of a postcard that someone had created with my Good Tidings to You stamp set from Unity. And it was on this YouTube channel called Craft Roulette. And so that like totally piqued my interest, you know. And then there was a video, and now I don't remember exactly how I saw it. Either it was on Instagram, or I think it was Instagram, that there was like a little blurb video. And so then that piqued my interest, and so I was watching it. And it was, so Christina Werner's Instagram is, I think it might be K Werner, but her YouTube is Star of May. Anyway, she did this really cool technique with a stamp that was like a coverall stamp, right? Like a background stamp. And once I started watching it, I was like, Tessa, I could totally do that with one of my coverall art printables. And she was like, yeah, that would absolutely work. So for today, we're going to take a coverall, and I have quite a few, so you can pick and choose whatever you want. A coverall art printable, and then I also have this art printable, the Christmas Sentiments Fodder that I did, I think, in 2021. So anyway, so there's this one, and I have all of these to choose from. These are the ones I printed off. I think there's one more that I didn't print off, but be that as it may. Anyway, if you are brand new here, if you would follow, like, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it. And for all things Ann and artsy, like my washi tapes, like my coasters, like my stickers, like my art printables, go to AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. Anyway, okay, here we go. So I have Timmy, Aunt Marie, Aunt Junie, and Aunt Margie, right? So Aunt Margie is the poinsettia one. But what Christina did was don't you love when you see a technique and then you can make that your own? You don't copy that person. Maybe you copy their technique, right? So let's make it that technique, but Ann Corbiere-Scott Design style. So I think I'm going to do Timmy. Or we could do, you know what? We could do Aunt Marge since it's Christmassy. Maybe we'll do two. I don't know. So we're going to take a craft mat. Oh, that one has stuff all over it. This one's sort of clean. Oh, well. Okay. So we're going to take a craft mat because we're going to need to mix some colors a little bit on the craft mat. So here's what she did. She took stamped it. So she stamped something and then embossed it. And I will see if I can. It was her latest video. So, and I think it was, I don't know. Just if you follow her on Instagram, K Werner or Star of May, I don't remember exactly which. Okay, so she took her image, right? So for us, it's a printed image on, so I printed this on watercolor, our 90-pound watercolor paper that we always use, and with my laser printer, and then she just covered everything with water. So we're going to do an underpaper, not like our artsy underpapers that we do in art journaling, but an underpaper nonetheless, like an underpainting. We've done that when we've done some artsy techniques. Okay, so now this is very wet, and I should have taped it down. But you know what? I didn't. So, you know, here we go. All right. So we're going to take red, and let's take some greens. And I have a couple of different greens. And I have a little bit of yellows. I have that gold that's so pretty. And I have this amber, which I love. So we're using our Karen markers, right? And we could do our background certainly with a color too, and that would be really pretty. Okay, so we're going to use our craft mat. We're going to scribble some color down here because we're going to make it like watercolor paint, right? And I'm going to take like a, what is this? This is a number 8 round. I'm going to get my bristles nice and wet and get some water in there. And then I'm just going to kind of create this watery wash, right, of color. Let's do a little bit more. I mean, you could do this, you could do this on a craft mat, you could do this on a piece of packaging, you know, anything that's slick. And kind of take your time and just get into the process, you know. Turn your substrate. I love this technique because it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So she just painted her underpainting like this. We did that technique of painting and underpainting in one of the one of my art journaling classes where we did some collage building. It's so cool, Tam. It's so cool. And it's not new, but it's fun. I'm gonna deepen that one just a little bit. I'm just gonna keep it on. I'm using this dirty craft mat, so everything is I'm having to be strategic about where I put my color. Why I grabbed a dirty one, I don't know. You know what? It was right here. Okay, so I think we have all the red stuff done for our underpainting, right? And now we can do our, oops, I dropped that. And now we can do our other colors, our greens, etc., etc., etc. And grab a paper towel. For my brush. Okay. So let's come in with, okay, I have curry and I have olive green. Let's start with the olive green. It's pretty dark. What else do I have over here? I have a lime green. I kind of dig that better, I think. But we have a couple of different things to paint. Okay, let's come in with the lighter green. Right? Just gonna get some color down. You could do this technique in a more I'm doing it a little bit more precise than Christina did, but her imagery was different. Like if I were doing it on the Timmy, I would be doing my painting a little different, a little more loosey-goosey. Let's start to mix some colors a little bit, see what we get. Kind of digging that. I feel like I kind of have to concentrate. Flip, 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 flip. I love these Caron markers, and we haven't played with them in a long time. And she got them out, and she had said that she hadn't played with hers in a long time either. And it's just fun to pull out an old friend like that, isn't it? Like, I just feel like, oh, I've missed you, and I remember how you work on papers, and, you know, all the things. Okay, now let's do some of this deeper green for the pine boughs. Digging that. Deepen that a little bit. Did I get them all? I think so. Then I have these guys. Let's mix those two. That lime green and the olive green, and see what we get. A little bit deeper shade, and I'm just gonna kind of paint the whole sprig, and then we can come in and do some detail work in a bit. Whoops, red. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to heat dry this so that we have a nice dry surface to begin again. And this is kind of looking pretty the way it is, isn't it? I'm kind of liking that watery, washy kind of vibe going. What is it going to get even cuter? Everybody take a drink while I'm drying. So what did everybody do over the weekend? Did you do something Christmassy? Neither, Tam. It's just on water. I printed on watercolor paper. Because we're going to make 4 Christmas cards out of this. Yes, I did paint over it with water. Like I painted the whole sheet with water and a 1-inch flat. And then I came in with a smaller brush and did the colors. And now we're going to come in with an even smaller brush for our detail work. But I want to start with a dry surface first. Okay, so now I'm going to move this craft sheet, and we're going to come in and I'm going to work on flattening this just a bit. That sounds terrible. Sorry about that. I like to do, like, while it's still warm, you can do a couple things to kind of break down the fibers in that paper, so it'll lay a little flatter for you. And if it's not cooperating, then just warm it again. And and then just use your hands. Good morning, Sarah. That's right, you said you were going to Florida for Christmas. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back in with those same colors. And we're going to enhance what we have, right? So, we're going to come in and put bits of red down, right? And now I'm going to come in with like I think this is a 3, maybe a 2. Wet my brush, oh my gosh, brush bristles, and I'm just going to do that jiggy jaggy blend. And some of these colors blend, like move better than others. So some you might have to work a little bit. Like this fire red, I'm going to have to work a little bit. But once it's wet, I just like to do dots of color and then see if I can move that. Just build up the color. I'll just say, I got home and I had all these things I was going to do, and I just passed out on the couch. Like I think it just all took its toll on me. And as I do this, you can just see it just grow. It's so pretty. Like the whole, the depth that happens as you grow these other colors is tremendous. Like just look at just the difference in this flower. And I'm just getting a little bit of color down. And I can continue to work on building, right? This color over the course of, you know, however long it takes. So maybe let's try. So cairn markers, there's a couple of different ways that you can play with them. If you wet the surface first, you can, right? That will help. And then come in with your wet brush again and move that color. This one I did dry first. So we'll just show all the different ways. Right, so I've got a little bit of color on there, but let's come in and put some color on the wet. See if we can move that. Yes! And these poinsettias are really kind of funky and sketchy, and so there's lots of things that you can do to enhance these big open petals, you know? Okay. Okay, I'm going to do this one dry. See what happens. Get that water on there. So once this layer, the second enhancing layer, is dry, then we can certainly come in with more detail work. We can, I wanted to say, you can do this trick where you take some color on the end of your wet brush and paint it on this way. And then work that color out with some jiggy blending. Blend it out, blend it out. This one down here. I kind of like that technique. That was kind of cool. Let's do that again. Put some color down. Wet my brush. And move it. So if you get the chance, check out that craft roulette. I have not watched it. Tessa watches it, so I will be checking it out. Merry Christmas to you too, Sarah. And you know you can watch this any old time. The beauty of the internet. Of Facebook videos, I should say. We can finish up all the flowers, and then we can go in with the greenery, and we can then we can come back to the flowers and start adding some detail work. I was thinking about painting the background like a tealy turquoise, but oh look, I just did a little splat. That's kind of cool. Let's do more of that. It's kind of cool. Adds a funky vibe. We make everything work for us, right? When so for Desiree's birthday, she's my artsy girl. I got her a shirt that says "Girl Artist," and we made friendship bracelets. And so I made her a friendship bracelet that said girl artist. And I got her all art supplies for her birthday. I got her some watercolor pencils so that she could paint without paint. Do you know what I mean? Because not everyone sees art supplies as essential as us, and some people are a little horrified with the mess. So I wanted it to be as like a little bit controlled. Anyway, so I got her water brushes and I got her watercolor pencils. And so I taught her how to, and a watercolor pad and a desktop easel. Anyway, I taught her how to blend colors and she went to town. She was having herself a time. And first she started in a little notebook that I have. And she goes, this is so you could take home some Desi art. So cute. And then she got her, I said, if you get out your watercolor pad, you'll see a huge difference. Because that watercolor paper just absorbs that water and color so much better. And she was like, oh. And she was mixing all kinds of colors. I love that. Okay. This is just coming along swimmingly, isn't it? I'm kind of digging the splatter. Okay. Okay. So let's leave that red, kind of procure, and let's start with some green. So I have, remember I have this green. So we could do like just the center of this leaf and then work that color out. Let's see what happens with that. Yeah, that's pretty. Oh, that's looking pretty, isn't it? Loving that. Everybody take a drink. And just remember, like, you can just continue to, like, refine as you go along. I have found the best way to have this weight of watercolor paper absorb the most liquid, whether that be paint or water or whatever, is to let each layer dry completely. So if you need to use your heat tool, please go ahead and do that. But let each layer dry before we add the next. So let's just do a little. So like that red, we're just going to let it just dry completely. And while we're letting that dry, we can do our greenery, right? And every time we add a layer like this, we start to things start to tighten, but they have that loose background. I love it. I love it. But it starts to tighten with color and detail. I love that. And it will start to, the watery, washy background will start to fade back, and the flowers will start to come forward with the added detail. And once I'm done, I don't know, how am I doing on time? Once I'm done with all of it, then I can cut it into, cut this whole sheet into 4 card fronts, right? And then I can add any one of these sentiments to this card. But what Christina's point was, what she was doing, which I think is freaking brilliant, she chose a non-Christmas background. So, like I said, I was going to do the Timmy, or we have these wildflowers from the Aunt Marie, right? So we can paint these and then just add a Christmas sentiment. So you have flowers, but you can, so you could do them in kind of like jewel tones if you wanted it to be particularly Christmassy, or you could just paint them however, and then just add a Christmas sentiment. And I thought that was brilliant. So here's the Timmy. We could paint however we chose, in like maybe more traditional Christmassy colors, or any colors that just make you happy, and then just add the Christmas sentiment, which I think I'm gonna love doing. But this one, Aunt Marge, is going to be, is obviously poinsettias. I'm telling you this, and it's so, I love that it has such a painterly vibe. That is making me all kinds of happy. And I'm loving the red, like the sporadic red speckles from the splatter. That's making me really happy too. And these, I have a couple of these leaves that have some deeper green already on there. So that's kind of cool. So do you see, like by painting this whole sheet, we're creating 4 card fronts. And you know, we can create those however we choose, right? We can, they can be, what do I want to say? You could die cut them. You could, I mean, you could die cut them with like a traditional rectangle stitched edge, or you could die cut them like with a, I don't know, with a shape out of the center. You could do kind of whatever your heart desires, right? I just like to do things in a way that lets the artwork and your painting skills pop, right? I'm not a big, like a funky fold person, or a complicated dye system. I just like clean and simple. My artwork can be funky, but I want the other parts to be clean and simple. And I just, well, I just don't like lots of futz on things. Oh my gosh, this is looking so good. Okay, now let's come back with that olive green, and let's do a little bit of addition to the pine boughs. So I just put, I'm deepening the center. And I have some big red splats there, so I'm just being careful to not wet those. I want them to just kind of stand on their own. And as you can see, I'm just kind of scribbling that color down and then moving it with my brush. And that's just, oh my gosh. Just put some dots of color on these little spriggy things. See what I can do with that. There we go. There we go, there we go. And do you see how that background starts to fade, recede, and then the places that are painted in a more refined way kind of come toward you? That is, oh my gosh, that's making me so happy. I hope you see the same thing. Everybody take a drink. See if I put less green, what happens if I get, yeah, I'm kind of digging that a little bit better. This is not as bold as that. That's kind of more what I wanted. As you paint, don't you find yourself, like your mind just wanders, and you start thinking about all manner of things? Like what you want to do with your painting next, or I still have to get this person one more thing, or, you know. It's kind of crazy. I am really quiet, and you know what? I'm sorry about that. Sorry. There's no particular reason. I had a great sleep last night. There's nothing like sleeping in your own bed, is there? After being away, although the last night I slept at the DoubleTree, and you know what? I'm just going to tell you. I told Keely, Auntie loves the DoubleTree. I love the DoubleTree. It is, this morning, I am kind of quiet, and I am kind of like just kind of zoning out. But I can zone out for the rest of the day. I have you guys to talk to now. So, I don't know if everybody saw my post about, you know, you're in the South. Tell me you're in the South without telling me you're in the South. And soap powders, that one made me laugh so hard. Because I used to work with this lady, and her husband was from the South. And we used to giggle about, he said, you need to pick up some soap powders on the way home from work for laundry detergent, soap powders. I thought that was so dang cute. So when I saw it, and when I was in this darling little grocery store called Hearts, H-A-R-T-S, Hearts Family Center. And I'm telling you, it was like a small town grocery, but it was so, Eureka Springs is quite a artsy town. And so when you walk into Hearts, it smells delightful, like essential oils and handmade soaps. And I mean, it's a grocery store, don't get me wrong. There's, you know, lots of regular old groceries there. But in addition to that, there's like local artisans, handmade soaps, like I said, and essential oils, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And they had beautiful flowers that you could buy, and oh, you guys, I'm loving it. Like, I'm loving it the more I look at it. Is this, I'm feeling like, let's do a little bit of the deeper green down the center. Anyway, soap powders, and that, you know, the Razorbacks are everywhere. So there's a lot of suey pigs. Let's do a little bit of green right there. Oh my gosh, and I had to get, my flight was early-ish. Like I left at, I think we boarded just before 8. So I had to be at the airport kind of early, you know. And I had said that I would fill the gas tank back up. Why didn't I just, you know what? Because I'm always thinking they're going to charge me so much more. Oh my gosh, it doesn't really matter. It's cents. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I was too tired the night before to go to the gas station. So I had to get up super early, hence probably why I slept on the couch yesterday. So I had to get up super early, and I was trying to find something that was open because it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. There weren't as many gas stations open as I would have thought, but I did find one. But it was one of those ones where you have to pay before you pump. I had no idea how much, like how many gallons that tank was, or how many, I mean, I didn't pay that much attention. But anyway, so I put $10 in, and it wasn't enough. And at that point I was like, oh, just screw it. Just screw it. You can just charge me the extra. I don't care. Because you know how I always feel like once I'm at the airport and through security, then I can rest easy. You know what I mean? Oh, and at that airport, it's called XNA, that airport is. At that airport, there is, they have these things that I thought were brilliant, and I had not seen them at any other airport. And now I don't remember the name, but I'll find out if you're interested. But anyway, they were like an old-fashioned phone booth, sort of, right? But inside is a little table and a little chair. So you can, and it has the internet. So you can, like if you're traveling and you need to take a meeting or something, or you want to have a private conversation with someone, it was perfect. Oh my gosh. So you like pay to go in there and use it for a period of time. I thought that was brilliant. So I don't know if that, like, well, I haven't been to every airport, certainly, but I haven't seen those at any other airport. Although I did see, they do have these other things. I think at like the Denver airport I saw them maybe. They have like these mini, it's sort of like a mini hotel room, but you can, so you could rent these, and it's, they're tiny, believe me, but you can, rent that space so you could take a nap, or you could use that to like have a private meeting or a private phone call or whatever. I thought it was fascinating. Because, you know, have you ever tried to talk to somebody at the airport? It's so loud. It's so loud. So Eureka Springs, has anybody ever been? It's a very artistic town. It's very, like, filled with artisans. Filled with artisans. And it's, but it's so hilly. I was talking to Jeff as I was driving back to the hotel. Isn't it beautiful, Sue? But it's so hilly. And I said, some of the hills are so steep that as you're driving up to the crest of the hill, you don't know what's on the other side. You're just trusting that it's road. So funny. But it was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. Like, I wish I could have spent more time just shopping around in all those little shops. So I told Emily I'll be back. Because there were so many like little art galleries and little boutique shops, and oh my gosh, so cool. Do you see how the addition of just this deeper green, oh my gosh, it's just setting things off, isn't it? It was a little bit scary. Oh my gosh, I think I talked about when I did my first my pop and paint party from my hotel room, I couldn't hear the stinking navigation. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But then Emily told me, she goes, I had that happen to me too, and you have to turn it up like while she's talking. So I made a concerted effort to like concentrate on that so that I could get I could get where I needed to go. Okay, so let's start to do a little bit of this with the red. And I'm wondering if I came in, I have this orange red, which I don't really think would go here, but maybe I have a magenta red, and I wonder, let's see what happened with that. See if that just deepens it. I love poinsettia petals because they always look kind of velvet to me. Hey Chris, how are you this morning? Is it morning where you are? I don't know where everybody is. Yep, I'm liking that. So I will just continue to build these layers, and then, like I said, I will, and you know, I'm not above coming in with some other mediums, colored pencils or gel pens or, I don't know, stencils or who knows what. Right? Then I will cut this in 4s, and I will make Christmas cards. And then don't forget, on Thursday, we're going to be art journaling, of course. And tomorrow, we will be stitching together. Oh, yeah, so that's, yeah. That's the same as Arkansas was, I believe. So, Sue, how long does it take you to get to Eureka Springs? Wouldn't have been that far, would it, from Norman? You know what I just noticed? I have a big drop of water right there. But I'm feeling like that might kind of do something cool. You know how when we splatter water, we get that, you know, where it just kind of takes some of the color off. Kind of taking that. Look at that. Like just the ones that I've done that little bit of magenta. Ooh, I'm kind of digging that. Merry Christmas, Tam. So not bad at all, 4 or 5 hours. So when do you go back, Tam? When do you go back to Boise? It's really making me so happy. You know when you kind of, like, it's kind of an experiment, isn't it? Whenever you try a new technique, you just don't know what's going to appear. I still need to do the centers, right? And those need to be yellow, but I'm hemming and hawing about... I know, that's what I was thinking about, Valerie. I'm thinking I might do... Well, I want to do all of my painting, and then I think I'm going to foil it. And when you foil one of my laser printed printables, that, oh, I think I just got paint on my face. Of course, probably. Whatever is black is going to pick up that foil. So I could certainly foil this with gold, and that would be sparkly and pretty. Or I could foil it in black, and the black is just like super shiny. That's pretty. So that's kind of where I'm leaning, but who knows? It's just coming along so pretty. Like, I'm really feeling like I might want to, I know I'm getting close, you guys. Well, I'm probably over. I might want to do some stenciling in the background. I don't know. I just want I don't know. I'll just do whatever kind of happens. How's that sound? There we go. The addition of this pink is really, that's kind of really making me happy. And I know that I'm probably at my maximum absorbency, but do you see how this one, look at, we have like almost like a vibrant pink. I don't know if that's showing up on camera, but oh, look at that. Do you see that white speck? So I feel like I want to get these flowers just a little bit deeper in color, and then do like the water splatter, because that, I feel like that's gonna really that's gonna show up. But maybe I want to do the background first. Like do I don't know if I want to do like a watery background, which is what I'm kind of feeling like. And then stencil on top of that, or just do the foiling part. I don't know. You guys will see, because I'll post the cards. How's that sound? I know. So Valerie, I was thinking about doing my centers with this. Like do this first and then come in and do something else. See, that's really, I think that's helping get me kind of where I want to go. Just get some color down. But I'm feeling like I might want to come in. I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but that magenta has created some really cool color effects. Like here is, in real life, it is really quite hot pink. And so, oh, see, if I turn it, then you kind of get the vibe. So I'm feeling like maybe I want to add a little bit of, I know we're way over, you guys. I'm so sorry, but I can't stop. Because now I have a big fat idea. I could even add like a little bit of orange, of this amber, and a little bit of cerise, which is, this is my favorite color. Just so I get that. Remember, we've talked about when you add multiple colors, you're going to get so much more depth to what you're creating. So if I just add a little bit of cerise, let's see what happens. going to add depth to our flowers. Yeah. But also, I think I want to add a little bit of orange and see what happens. See, I feel like that one is really starting to like have a little bit more depth. So I will bid you adieu because, you know, we're way over. Everybody have an amazing day, and I will post these cards as soon as they're done, which might take me all day. I don't know. I adore you all. I'll see you tomorrow in Stitch Along, and then Thursday in Pop In Paint Party Art Journaling Edition. I adore you all. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Bye, everybody.